Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for watching in our presentation. Today, we are going to discuss about understanding and reducing social engineering vulnerability from the approach of end user capabilities. But firstly, I would like to introduce myself and my partner. We are from Group 9. My name is Mukhamad Rosyid as moderator, and my partner Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Refai as source 1, and Mr. Yono as source 2, and Mr. Husein Ali Asghar source 3, and the last Mr. Muhammad Rofiq as conclusion. Before my partner explain about social engineering, I will review what cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of defending computer, server, mobile device, electronic system, network, and data from malicious attacks. It's also known as information technology security or electronic information security. The term applies in a variety of contexts from business to mobile computing and can be divided into three common categories. One, network security is practice of securing a computer network from intruders. Two, application security. Three, information security as protect operational security, disaster recovery, and user education addresses. Mr. Iqbal present about definition and general knowledge of social engineering. Mr. Triano present about types of social engineering attack. Mr. Hussein present about presentation, and Mr. Rofiq uh, present as conclusion. For the first, there will be given by the first presenter. Please welcome Mr. Iqbal. Time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Rosyid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Iqbal Refai. I am as a speaker, and I will explain about of what is social engineering and general knowledge of social engineering. And so, social engineering is the use non-technical means to gain an authorized access to information or computer system. While this method is recognized as a major security threat in the computer industry, little has been done to address in the library field. This is of particular concern because libraries increasingly have access to databases of both proprietary and personal information. This tutorial is designed to increase the awareness as library staff in regard to the issue of social engineering. That's a little explanation about social engineering from me, and then I will hand it over to my colleague, Mr. Triyono, that will give explanation about the kinds of social engineering attack. Mr. Triyono, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will hand it over to my colleague Triyono that will give explanation about types of social engineering attacks. Next material, phishing, front-end manipulation, text via email, website, and text messages to steal information. Next, spear phishing email is used to carry out targeted attacks against individuals or businesses. Baiting. Baiting is an online and physical social engineering attacks that promise the victim a reward. Next, malware. the victim. Software will send malware and force the victim to pay. If they pay, the malware will be removed. Next, predicting is using a face identity to trick the victim into privileged confidential information. And next, phishing is phishing again fights email, sending and reassuring the victim that the target needs to do something to protect himself to avoid trouble. Thank you. For the next presentation, I will submit it to Husein. I will invite to the time and place.
Thank you, Mr. Triano, for giving such a good explanation about types of social engineering attacks. So, I continue with social engineering attacks prevention. So, there are three factors that are important in preventing social engineering attacks. The first one is training, the second one is policy, the third one is awareness. Awareness itself is the result of policy and training. These three factors are the factors that should be considered by organization to give their employees awareness of social engineering attacks. So, training. Organization has to make a good training for their employees so that their employees understand what social engineering attacks are and how to prevent any unwanted accident from social engineering attacks. With intensive training, I believe employees will understand about social engineering. The second one is policy. Other than training, we have to make, organization has to make a strict rule. It doesn't have to be strict actually, but a clear policy of what should and what should not be done by employees. Okay, so in order to have a secure communication between employees, the organization has to give a clear policy regarding to communication between employees, whether it is through internet or social media. Okay, and awareness itself is the result of policy and training. So, with a good implementation of policy and good training from organization or a company, the employees will have a better awareness of social engineering attacks. Now, these three factors are for organization or company. How about us and users? What should we do to secure our data so that we can prevent any unwanted accident, any unwanted data breach that is caused by social engineering attacks? The first one is we have to think before clicking. What is think before clicking? There are still many of my family members. I took an example from my family members. They are still easily interested, easily attracted to paid ads. Paid ads. For example, they are offered an iPhone and then they are offered an iPhone and they have to click a certain website. There are still many people who are not careful, who are not aware of social engineering, and they don't care about the URL of the website. We have to check the URL of website to make sure that it is an official website and not a phishing website. The second one is beware of email spoofing. Email spoofing or email phishing. The same, we have to be aware that we have to be careful in reading any emails that we get and determine whether it is a spoof, it is a phishing email or not. Number three is secure personal data. When we are surfing on the internet, we have to secure our personal data. We have to stop sharing any personal information through social media, through internet or other platforms. It is important for us to secure personal data like our names and then date of birth, and then our pets. There are why should we secure personal data? The reason is there are still many people who make passwords, who create passwords from combination of their names and their past, or their names and their date of birth, which is gonna make attackers easier in gaining personal data information. So that's why we have to be careful in sharing our personal data through the internet. The fourth one is set email spam filter to high. There's a feature in email, in Gmail, in other email platforms. The feature is spam filter. So spam filter is basically a feature that filters any, what is it called, any email that is, what is that we receive, and then leveling them from high spam level to low spam level. By setting spam filter to high, we are gonna be, not we are, I mean, we have reduced possibility of, what is it called, social engineering attacks. The fourth one is secure use device. What I mean secure use device is, we have to keep our antivirus on. We have to keep our antivirus data up to date so that our antivirus can block, can delete any malwares or spam or any other things that we have that might lead to social engineering attacks. So this the sixth thing that we have to know is that we have to be mindful of any risk in surfing on the internet. There is always a risk whether we are, or we have, whether there's always a risk when surfing on the internet. We have to be mindful of this risk, even though we have tried to do our best in, what is it called, securing our data, in keeping our devices safe. But it doesn't mean that there is no risk. There is always a risk when surfing on the internet. That's all from me, and I'll hand it over to my colleges, Mr. Muhammad Rofiq, that will give the whole conclusion of this seminar. Since this seminar is just a one-way communication, there is no Q&A session. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rofiq. Here I will read about the conclusion about social engineering. Psychological manipulation is a very dangerous attack for yes because of its very dangerous effect. This is the so as personal data become famous, hijacking phone numbers, robbery of ATM cards, and ways to prevent psychological manipulation, including understanding the technique used in psychological manipulation. Install anti-malware, anti-phishing, such as Bitdefender, SMADAV, AVG, Avira, or Kaspersky mobile antivirus. And we need to be wise in managing the website in order to avoid psychological manipulation, and to need for self-prevention, include reading more journal or paper on social engineering. Always being careful and on social media, and being wise in social media, and then forget to protect yourself during the coronavirus or COVID-19 in pandemic in a way apply 3M. First was hand, second, keep your distance, okay. Three, put on your mask. And then thank you. And then thank you for drop 9. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for listening. May all those we have shared beneficial for all us. Thank you. Goodbye.